United States was concerned, we had them there, and everybody came there. So we had the Marvin Gayes, and we had Marvin Gaye wasn't there, but we had Barry White, we had the Temptations. Anybody here in the United States when they came to Paris, they came to our club. We booked them, and everybody knew that. We had all the American bands, all the American anybody that was popular, they were there. They came there. Janet was there. Janet Jackson. Michael. We never got Michael there. We had Jermaine there, Michael's brother.
What made you go to Paris?
I was working with the radio station at the time, and I had the club called Late Night. I'll introduce you to because he lives in what's the next thing up from Spring Hill all the way up?
Brooksville.
Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going. One more. It's way up there.
I forget.
Like an hour and a half, an hour and 45.
Yeah.
No, about almost 2 hour drive. But anyway, Vinny DeRosa, his family, the DeRosa family, because they have an airport up there. Wherever that airport is up there, that was his father's, and they were very well off. And we had 2 late nights. We had the first late night, which we only kept a year, and then we moved from it and bought the other club, which held like 400 or 500 people. And I was there for quite a few years. I thought I told you that because the mafia we got caught up with the mafia because we were so popular in Gainesville, and we called it late night because we didn't open the doors until 11 o'clock. So people started coming in at 11. They didn't leave until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
At Hudson Beach, one of the mafia members owned a home there.
Really?
I forget his name.
Well, anyway.
Oh, I think it was Gotti.
Are you serious?
I think so. It was one of the more famous mobsters on Hudson Beach.
Okay, Hudson, because I know Elvis Presley's, God dang it, is not his uncle, but he lives right behind, okay, you got Hooters, all that stuff on the water right there. And then if you go to Catches, you know where Catches is, and you look across, there's another Whiskey River.
Yeah.
Right. He lives down that road.
Family member of Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a bunch like Shirley Temple on the Grand River.
Really?
Yeah. John Man in Black, Johnny Cash. They had a house downtown Washington
There's
Street somewhere.
A lot of popular.
But what was the name of your club here, and what was the name of the club?
The club here, the club at that time in Gainesville was called Late Night, and it wasn't NIGHT, it was NITE. And the club that was in Paris was called Nights of an Affair. That was it, Nights of the Affair. So everybody used to say, we're going to the Nights of the Affair. We had it 5 years. I came back home. I was married. And I moved, my wife and everything, we all moved up there. And my wife at the time, which was Kimberly and Casey's mom, she kept complaining about her parents. Like, I miss my parents. So I would fly them up there. Her mom, her dad, her stepdad, and her sister. And they would come up there, and they wouldn't come up there for no week or two. They'd be there for months, And by me being with the club, we had limo services and things of this sort. So they didn't know their way around, and I didn't spend a lot of time with them because I was always at the club with the guys and stuff, doing different things and doing promotions. So I always made sure that there was a car there, and if they needed to go anywhere, all they had to do was tell them where they wanted to go. They didn't even know how to drive on the right-hand side. You know what I'm saying? The steering wheels were on the opposite side. So they would go wherever they needed to go, and they would stay with us. One time they stayed with us for like 3-4 months. I didn't care because the house was so big. They were on one side. Half the time I didn't see them. And then they finally went home. And 2 weeks later, 10 days, 2 weeks later, I miss my mom. I'm like, fuck, they
just left.
They've been here home for 4 fucking months or 3 months. Yeah. I'm like, they just went home. Had they even had time to unpack? I'm being facetious now. And she just went on and on and on and on. And then I was like, I can't go. This was the last time. I said, I really, really can't go. I said, but, I told the guys, I said, look, I'm going to go. and go down there with her for support. You know, that is my wife. She wants me to go. I'm gonna go down there. So about maybe 2 months later, came back to Florida. Well, not Florida, but back to Atlanta, and I fucking never went back.
But you owned it?
No. Well, we owned it, all 5 of us.
So what did you do, sell it?
Yeah, well, I sold my portion of it.
Oh.
You know.
Is it still around today?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
You didn't stay in touch with the other 4?
40-something years ago. Well, I stayed in touch with them for a little while. But it wasn't like it is today. It's even easier today with cell phones and all this shit, you know? And get a phone and dial all these numbers and try to get in touch with these people. And
so you just basically lost touch with them?
I lost touch. I wanted to go back. I kept saying, God damn it. I said, I wish I never came back to the States.
I wonder if you were to look it up today, Nights of an Affair in Paris, France, if it's still there and you called the phone, they answered the phone and they go, what? How are you?
Either that or come to find out that they are, well, you know, we got 40-something years involved now. It's gone, so a lot of us done, you know, that life, that's the fast life, you know what I'm saying? The nightclub life. And a lot of people say, you don't speak any French. That's what my mom used to always get pissed off with me, because I took French and I didn't take Spanish when I was in high school. My mom was like, what the hell is wrong with you? If you doing speaking French? I went to France, I still didn't speak French. I understood a lot of it, but I never spoke it. But then a lot of people in France spoke English. Didn't really have a problem with it, you know. Actually, if you speak, no, I'm not very good at French. I said, if you can speak English, then they start speaking English. I'm like, damn. So there was a lot of English-speaking people over there. 80% of them, they spoke both languages.
Was it hard to live there without?
I loved it. I loved it. I missed the street life up there. That's one day I think I said to you or Ernie, I said, oh man, there was a show that came on, and because it was like Peru. I got a picture of Peru when I was in Peru, but. Oh my God! It was the eating on the streets, the eating. I even told Lavinia. She asked me. I said you wouldn't make it, and she said, why not? I said, because you don't have the palate for it. She didn't know what I meant. What palate? What do you mean? What's palate? I said,
taste in your mouth.
Food. I said, you're not.
Do they have very small plates over there?
Oh yeah, they probably still do, but they serve you. Everything is an art.
Yeah, I heard that when you eating is somewhat of a passion thing. Mm-hmm. So what you eat is extremely beautiful, extremely tasty.
Always.
And you don't need a lot of it because it's so...
No. You eat with your eyes, too, so much there. And you eat out in the streets. You're always down the street. There was an alley in Peru. I took a picture of it, and the guy that took the picture, he signed it and everything, and I got it on the wall in the house. And I look at that thing every once in a while. I'm like, God damn! I said, I'll never forget that shit, because it's like an alley almost. You know, you got apartments on this side, cobblestone streets going down, and you got little tables and stuff where people sit down and eat. People sit down and eat outside a lot. I told her, I said, well, back then there were no McDonald's, Burger Kings, and Wendy's and all that kind of shit. I said, and I wasn't trying to be funny with her. I said, you'd starve to death.
She doesn't eat much as it is.
No, and then what she does eat, she's not gonna. It's just different.
She's picky. She's very picky.
It's real different, and you know, you got to have a wide. You got to have a knack for at least trying it. Shit,
yeah, I remember,
try it. You know?
I remember. She's a lot like Ernie.
Like, try it. God damn. I know I'm not gonna like that. How you know you're not gonna like it? You ain't even tasted it. You know, but then, you know what though? I always kept saying I'm going back, and goddamn, never went back.
Imagine if you looked it up on Google, found out that it did exist and it had the phone number, and you called, and one of the 4 people that you went in with was still there.
Oh, that would be something. But I have looked it up once before and didn't see anything.
Oh.
That was a long time ago. Though.
Just imagine though. Can you imagine
no.
the reaction that you'd get from it?
Oh shit. The reaction I'd get, I'd be like, what the hell?
They'd definitely want to have you come out there.
But see, I had more of a connection with radio stations in
The area.
in the United States,
Oh.
and they didn't.
Yeah.
So that's how I became part of
An important part.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it came to that, I was able to call the record companies. I knew all the guys that worked at these record companies, Warner Brothers and Centron and Atlantic and Motown, and I knew everybody. I was able to travel all around the United States. I didn't have to ever concern myself on where I'm going to sleep. Because they were always like, well, Reese, if you're coming up here, you come to the house. I stayed at everybody's house. Every place I went at everybody's house, and it was beautiful. I used to love it. I used to love that shit. I traveled all over the goddamn place. You meet so many people.
Was this when you were married too?
I was married and then not married and then married, but they had to deal with, but I always made them a part of what I was doing anyway, so. 90% of the time, the person that I married, that's how I met them.
Is in the industry.
Yeah. Lavinia's the only one that's not from the industry.
How did you meet her?
I met her at a function that my partner and I was doing a function in St. Pete. And it was our first, the first one we did. We were doing, it was something with old school. I forget what we named it. But Lavinia, her sister, I knew her sister, and they asked me if Lavinia, at the time, can my sister come up here and, she sells candles and stuff like that. So could she come up here and maybe try to sell something? I said, yes. I said, yeah, she can come up here. I don't care. So I set her up as soon as you walked in the door, she was right there. So you had to pass her.
Right.
So I don't know if she sold any candles that night or not, but that's, she was selling candles, and that's how I ended up meeting her. And then I didn't meet her for me. I met her for a friend of mine. I got a bathroom. You know how coffee does me.